You've probably all heard the phrase, that may work in theory, but does it work in practice? Well, we know that that exists, and as a result, academics have come along to say, that may work in practice, but does it work in theory? And this is kind of a fun way that pointy-headed academics like to poke fun and say, oh, it's all about the theory. And if you're living in an ivory tower and you spend all your time developing theory and understand very little about the world in which we live, then it can be problematic. But the truth is, there is nothing as practical as good theory, as stated by Kurt Lewin. Theory helps us make decisions about the world in which we live. It provides a framework that helps us make more effective decisions. Now, before I get into that further, let me talk about what theory is. Theory consists of a set of principles that help organizations and individuals make decisions about the causal relationships between A and B, or two or more activities, events, behaviors, whatever they may be. Theory provides this underlying understanding of why something works. In essence, what theory allows us to do is it allows us to make decisions in multiple contexts and future settings. Let me give you an example. Goal-setting theory tells us that the more clear and specific our goals are, if those goals are measurable, then we're more likely to achieve better results and achieve our goals. Versus if those goals are ambiguous and vague and not measurable, then we are not likely to achieve those goals as well as if they're specific or clear. The theory is based on scientific rigor, scientific research that shows that there is a relationship, and it tries to understand why setting specific and clear goals leads to the achievement of those goals. Now, this is all great, but what if the environment in which we're operating shifts and changes? Say we're dealing with a global pandemic. Say the nature of work has dramatically changed. People are working remotely. There are all kinds of shifts. They're working and engaging in different ways. As a result, good theory should help us understand how to make decisions in all these different settings. It provides the underlying reason of if I do A, I'm going to get B, and I can apply that in different contexts. Now, what also happens, however, is as these environments shift, theory needs to shift. Theory needs to evolve and develop and grow, and we need to develop new theory or extend existing theory. And this helps us understand how we can operate and evolve in the world that's transforming and constantly changing. Let me give you a specific example. Say I'm at work and I'm working late and I decide it's time to go home, and it's nighttime. I'm walking home, it's a very short walk, and in the middle of my walk home, I stop to break out in song and dance because we all know that life mimics musicals. So I break out in song and dance, I get home, I go to open the door, and my key is gone. And I think, I probably lost my key when I broke out in song and dance on my way home from work. So I go back to the spot, and it's dark, but there are a couple street lamps shining down, and I start looking where those street lamps have lit up the ground, and I look for my keys. My friend Joanna comes along, and Joanna says, "Shad, what's going on here? What are you looking for?" And I said, I lost my keys, I broke out into song and dance. She stops and questions me why I broke out into song and dance. That's another story. But she's like, why are you looking for the keys just in the light? I said, well, that's the only place I can see. That's my framework. That's how I envision the world. And I said, I can't see in the dark. And she reaches into her magic purse and she pulls out a mag light. And she starts shining that mag light in different spots where I can now see in new spots. And I have this new framework, this new theoretical framework, you might say, that allows me to look in different areas and locations. Well, this is like theory in general. Theory sheds light on a certain area of reality, but it doesn't shed light on all areas of reality. And as that reality shifts, we have to expand the theory, or we have to modify the theory or adjust the theory to cultural context, to changes in the work environment, whatever it may be, that allow us to then say, oh, this theory is now more applicable and more useful in this setting. Theory in general helps us make better decisions. The longer I engage in my own research and work with companies, the more I realize how much we are all dependent upon theory. We all have our own theories about how life works, about how to manage individuals, about how to achieve performance. The key is to have good theory that's based in good science, that's based in rigor, that helps us manage more effectively in a future world environment. So, in answering the question, how can theory help with the future of work? Theory is key to understanding the future of work. Theory provides that framework that allows us to operate in new and unique contexts, bringing in principles that apply consistently across different contexts.